So who is this spawn camping man? 1022 LP, Vi OTP, 67% win rate challenger, rank 1 in NA. Well, lo and behold, it's our one and only, the man, the legend himself, Dumpa. Yes, it's Dumpa. If you've seen the rankings of Vi, he's literally rank 1 Vi in NA right now. And we're going to be reviewing one of his games. To be honest, guys, I've been kind of struggling lately. I've been stuck around D2, D1, losing and winning a lot of games. I'm able to pop off some games, but other games I can't win. So there must be something he's doing that we can learn from. So today we're gonna be looking at one of his games where he did pretty well, but it was not just an easy pushover game. I picked a game where we would have like I would be like a fight back and forth. It was 34 minutes long. The enemy team were also playing well. He was playing well. So and this is challenger, guys. This is like top of the ladder. He's ranked like 142 right now, and he said he's aiming for rank 1. But he's been grinding on this account called Spawn Camping, and it looks like in this matchup he's going for a Conqueror setup, which is I agree with him. Like I agree that Conqueror's really strong. He goes, interestingly enough, he goes the blue smite even on his Conqueror setup. Usually what I do is go green. I'm pretty sure he has a reason for that. I think the value out of it is just stronger. So I'm going to consider changing that in my own build and start going a blue smite in my games. I think I did it maybe once or twice, but I didn't really commit to doing that. I only did it once or twice just to see how it felt. Didn't feel that great, but Dumpa's running it, and I'm sure he has a reason why. So let's look at a matchup here. We have Jack Singe top lane. We got a Rengar Vi matchup. We have LeBlanc into Silas, and we have Kog'Maw, Emilio into Vayne, Lulu. So like a scaling bot lane. All right. So it looks like he's gonna go for an interesting first clear where he goes blue Gromp into his red buff, and this is gonna give him level 3, and then he's gonna be able to affect the map pretty early on. I usually advise against this pathing because you leave your wolf camp up, but maybe it's just not valuable enough for you to go early on. I'm not sure. He's going to do red after skipping his raptors. So he's going to be desyncing his quadrants. Or you could just reverse clear towards raptors, but I think he wants to gank this bot lane because right now... No, he's not going to go for it. His bot lane's too low HP. Alright. Mid lane could be potentially gankable. And it's really low right now. LeBlanc is kind of bullying the Silas. I wonder if his initial intent was to eventually path towards top lane, considering he reverse cleared. He does get spotted here by the Rengar. Rengar's trying to clear the ward. The bot lane reacts because they have priority. But they both catch on to that. LeBlanc flashes. The Silas goes under the Vi. He has to flash. Oh no, he doesn't have to flash. Oh, now he has to flash. And LeBlanc's going to pick up first blood because Vayne's overstepping on your tower. Wow, what a chaotic bot lane. Or what a chaotic start to the game. Is he going to buy double longsword? So, I think what happened is Rengar, he started with top to bot. And Vi, or Dumpa, he decided to go like this. I don't know the reasoning behind this clear. I have to ask him because I'm very confused. I've never seen him do it before, or maybe I just haven't been watching his recent streams and he's been doing it a lot, and it's like a very strong clear, but I just don't know why. I know the reverse clear is really great because of all the options it gives you, but not blue Gromp into red though. Damn, that's crazy. The Silas lands the hook onto the LeBlanc, but he ends up dying anyway. And he flashes. This is pretty big. He's gonna do Gromp, Wolves, and path it down because we both know that a dragon is up and he needs to he wants to path towards dragon. Looks like Singe is gonna dive the LeBlanc and then he's gonna go down. It's crazy the amount of the aggression that the enemy team shows, like the bot lane roaming up, making that early roam after they got pressure, and now like Singe coming mid to finish off the LeBlanc that's low HP, not allowing her to get a proper shove into the mid lane, so she has to TP back. Like the amount of pressure that goes on in these games is kind of insane. But yeah, he's just calmly pathing down towards bot lane here. He wants to pressure bot lane so we can set up for dragon, or he might even decide to sneak dragon. It's kind of hard to do that versus Rengar right now. Rengar's clear really fast. He clears faster than Vi does, so Rengar could potentially be on dragon right now. But it looks like we just spotted him down in the bot side, trying to do a lane gank. So he's here as well, just to counter gank the Rengar. They both have the same idea. They want to set up pressure in the bot lane. Looks like Rengar backed off because Emilio just swept it. The pings that are going off are insane in this Elo. Like there's everyone's pinging everything. There's missing pings. They're on the way, on the way. Okay, it looks like they got the shove, and now they have Pyro bot lane, so he could just do this dragon for free. I'm not sure why they didn't contest it. Like why didn't Rengar? I want to go back a little bit. Why didn't Rengar come here and just like take the fight? Oh, I think he got spotted. Yeah, he got spotted here, and he's like, okay, it's not worth it. But do they know? Okay, I guess they know Rengar bases because he's not in the lane. But that's like such little information given for a Dumpa to determine that Rengar is not there. Like Rengar took a reset. But that's like some really great intuition as a jungler. Because me not seeing him, I would have just assumed that he's still somewhere in the area and he's trying to set up for dragon, right? Okay, after dragon, he's gonna go straight to mid lane. He's seeing as Silas is half HP. Rengar's gonna be here though. He's gonna be here for this counter gank. I'd assume so. He grabs Vi's aura, but he goes down. Okay, I think Rengar just decided to do his camps. Oh, he invaded the Vi. That's why he wasn't going for the counter gank. He did not want to show the fact that he was invading, so he took Vi's camps during that whole scuffle there, and then just pieced out. Took Vi's blue, and now he's closer to level 6 than she is, I'd assume. But Dumpa's got 2 KP, and Rengar has 0 KP right now. He's kind of just been sticking to efficiency, the Rengar, rather than trying to create pressure. We see him on the ward over here. This is a beautiful ward. Spotting him out on the Krugs. Now we know that Rengar's going to be pathing down, and it's going to give Dumpa a little bit of opportunity to go for this Rift Herald if he does decide to continue to path down. The only risk of that is if he does that, he's going to lose his bot side because Rengar will evade him if he sees him on Rift. So maybe he doesn't want to take that risk, and that's why he's just going to path down, matching the Rengar. We see Rengar invading Vi here. He doesn't want to risk getting rooted there, so instead of just queuing over the wall, he's gonna flash over. And I kind of agree with that because if you get stuck and give Rengar a little bit of lead, he just starts going out of control. And it looks like Rengar's getting pressure for this Rift Shield right here. Now, I'm not sure if this is a mistake or not, but seeing as Rengar just ganked topside, and Silas is dead, and bot lane is recalling, wouldn't it be a good idea to invade here? I don't know. I think maybe I'd pull the trigger here, maybe collect 1 or 2 camps, try to punish Rengar, assuming that he would go for Rift after creating pressure top, and we see their bot lane resetting. Maybe we don't see them, like, so it's not enough information to determine if they're there or not. So that's why it's a little bit iffy to go for an invade. Is he pinging? There's no way he's pinging on the way to Rift here. No way. He's gonna contest it. He's gonna contest it. He's asking LeBlanc to come contest the Rift with him. Interesting, interesting. Hmm. maybe taking the bot side is just not worth over getting this rift. Interesting. I really want to ask him about this game. Maybe he sees my video and he's gonna talk about and explain a little bit about what he did this game and why he decided to do the things that he does. Because I'm really curious. Like, there's a lot of new things he's been doing that I haven't adopted, but maybe the meta's changed in a certain way that he spotted, and now he's like changed a little bit of his playstyle. Okay, he's starting Raptors, so I feel like he's gonna be pathing down. Maybe he wants to get this tower plating on bot lane. Maybe get a bot lane gank in, and then go for the bot lane tower. So he's skipping Raptors here. We see Lulu coming up. We see Rengar. He's trying to help the Emilio. Rengar's gonna get ulted. He's gonna WW out of the CC. Vayne is gonna kill the Emilio, looks like. And it looks like Silas here is gonna chunk out our Vi, and she's gonna have to just reset. Initially, I feel like he wanted to path Raptors Krugs and look for maybe like a lane gank here to try to set up bot lane and get rift off from the bot lane. Is he still gonna? Does he still want to path towards the bot lane, or is he gonna go Wolves Grump? Okay. Looks like Singe is invading his top side. This is the really crappy thing about like resetting and then the enemy having pressure, because they'll just invade you, especially if people understand the pressure they have. So he's gonna pull it out. He's gonna be safe about it. He's not gonna risk getting invaded here because he doesn't know where Singe is. He doesn't know where Rengar is at the moment, or at least I don't. He might be tracking Rengar perfectly right now. So it does look like he still wants to be pathing towards bot lane, because he's skipping Gromp because it's unsafe. We just saw Singe in our jungle, but he did Wolves, and he's still going down towards bot lane. And now bot lane has Prowl. He's giving them Prowl. He needs to be here to counter any sort of ganks, and Singe is ready here. Singe is ready for the gank, but he's also ready to counter gank, right? We get the Q auto E. He jumps back. He doesn't have any more to follow up, right? If he had R, he maybe would have went R and ulted the Singe. It's kind of risky to do that though, because then you just risk being in the fire of Vayne and Lulu. You can get polymorphed, and it's just not a good thing to do. If you're ever against like heavy CC like a Lulu, and you like try to ult somebody next to Lulu, it's really dangerous because they can just chain CC you. And it looks like Rengar is forcing this dragon right here. Okay, this is a mistake that I wouldn't make this, because recently I learned it's always better to put pressure first and risk giving dragon than to just sneak dragon and then like 50-50 it. Because there's so many instances where I try to sneak dragon and I just get rotated on, even though it looks like I have prio. So I've determined to myself, like, I don't like to go for that anymore. Unless I have like, I'm tracking the jungler and he's pathing away from dragon, I'll go for those plays. But you see how Rengar just like started it, but he didn't create any pressure mid or bot lane? Like, I don't do that anymore. I used to do that. I think that this Twitch TV Griffin guy, he's 100% a better player than me. But if he realized that, then maybe he would find better success trying to get dragon. And it looks like we're gonna flash Q onto the Vayne, and she's gonna get ulted by the Lulu, and it's gonna just dissipate into nothing. So we're just gonna reset, and it looks like you have no more camps bot lane, so he's just gonna go towards top side right now. And Silas is killing LeBlanc with a Rengar gank here. Rengar ulted. So this game, I feel that, okay, it seems like Vi hasn't gone top a single time into the Jax Singe matchup, because, well, Jax is quite self-sufficient and he can get a lead by himself. He doesn't really need a gank. And Vi has, or LeBlanc has a lot of setup, so he's been kind of focusing his ganks around mid and bot lane, and he's been collecting these dragons on spawn pretty much. So like, instead of pressuring, the point I'm trying to make here, instead of pressuring top lane to get rift, he pressured mid lane, right? He pinged, well, LeBlanc got Prio by herself, and then he kept spam ping, come to rift, let's do rift together, let's contest it. He seems to be like beelining straight to objectives when he know he can contest them in positions where the enemy like resets after like a gank or something. Like we knew Singe like reset before, and he saw Singe reset, and we both knew, like he knew that Rengar was on Rift, and I knew that Rengar was Rift, and he just pinged straight there. Honestly, me, I would have decided to go into Rengar's jungle and take his bot side because I knew all of his camps were up. However, he says, no, I'm not going to take his bot side. I'm not going to evade. I'm just going to go for the Rift and contest him instead. Certainly some like decision making that I don't have that he does. We see bot lane is like setting up for something here. They're trying to get vision into the bot side jungle. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a lot of vision there. I feel like Rengar must be somewhere here. As Melio's trying to clear vision, our Kog'Maw gets dove. There's not much he could have really done about that. And I feel like he's just not even going to bother going top. He's not going to try to pressure top lane. He's just going to... Okay, we see that Sing's just half HP, so he comes up. We see Rengar waiting. Rengar presses W too early, and then we collapse on him with R. That's really nice. So it looks like Rengar was trying to set up pressure in top side, waiting for this gank here. But we counter gank it. Now we're just doing Rift here. Nothing special. Like, we got the pressure. We killed the Rengar, and now we get a free Rift. He's gotten, like, every single goddamn objective in the game. It's kind of crazy. Maybe that's why he likes to take Blue Smite. Okay, so I've seen him talk about this before. And this game he decides to do something else. He said that it's sometimes better to go Black Cleaver first item rather than Divine Sunder because the movement speed it gives you, the higher base stats that Black Cleaver gives you, and like it's very utility based. It's also cheaper. But in this game he decides to go Divine Sunder. I wonder what the reasoning behind that is. Is it because he has like a little bit of lead? Maybe he wants more damage this game to like burst out whoever he targets. I'm not sure why, but I'd love to hear his reasoning. Maybe it's just as simple as I already said. So he's gonna Q over the wall. He's gonna get cleansed by who? Who cleansed him of his CC? Oh, that was a nice Q flash. And he's gonna R to the Rengar, and that should kill Rengar here, and that should be enough to get Dragon. They trade 1 for 2. But it looks like he got cleansed by something. I need to see that again. I don't know what he got cleansed by. Let's slow it down a bit. Okay, he Qs over the wall. He gets stunned here. Oh, okay, Melio ulti cleanses. I didn't even know that. Melio unleashes a wave of soothing flames near nearby champions, cleansing, disabling, and immobilizing effects. I'm not sure if he intentionally did that for Vi, but that was actually insanely huge. Because the amount of CC that did was a lot, and allowed him to Q auto E into the Singe. Now Singe is chunked out, and his lower armor, because of W proc. We get the jump onto the Vayne here, and then we Q flash onto Lulu. And then he R's onto the Rengar in front of 4 people of his team. So he dies, but he trades 1 for 1. That was a really, really well played fight there. Especially from the Melio cleansing the Vayne Condemn there. But what do you expect, man? This is Challenger. Like, these players are all trying to win. They're all trying their best. They're all really, really high level players. Insane, man. Like, jeez. This LeBlanc is playing out of his mind. All of this this whole entire game kind of stemmed from around LeBlanc because of all the setup. All the setups he provided. Like getting Silas low. Getting pressure mid lane so you can contest the rifts. Like the LeBlanc has really been coming through this game. Another thing too, so my secondary pick is Jack's top lane when I do get filled to top. But I usually lack the ability to know when to group with my team at certain times. But Jax was right there at the third dragon fight, ready on time, ready to fight. He has ignite, but he still made it on time, and it looks like his tower is still up. Like, that's some really, really great wave management on his part. Look at me, I'm like reviewing everyone else on the game too, because I see so many good things that these players are doing that it's hard not to say something about it, you know? But okay, I feel like the reason why he's going the Blue Smite is so he could get in these positions where he can take really aggressive fights and contest things. So he's not just constantly fighting though. He's also farming in between different things too. Like, even though he has a lead here, um, with his team, he can fight really well. He has more gold than most of their team. Like, if you press tab and see the gold value, he's not just forcing fights, he's also farming efficiently as well. Now, Rengar has only been farming, and if you see his score, he has more CS because of it, but he also has less KP. Like, he hasn't been like making plays around the map. It's always hard going for the Rengar there. He's still okay. He's still going on the Rengar because he believes his LeBlanc can make the play work, right? That's why I believe he's going for Rengar there, because it's always really, really hard to collapse on Rengar if he hasn't used his W, because Empower W will just cleanse all your CC. He tried something though, it didn't work. They don't lose much from it though, that's the thing. So even though he died, it's his second death here. His death doesn't lose too much. His team is dying though. He's probably mad about that. I know Dumpa does get upset when his team does really stupid stuff like this. Like, he win for play. The rest of his team doesn't need to die. He's probably I know he's a little bit salty about this, but he's not gonna say anything. But Dumpa has a really good mental, guys. When he plays, he has to play muted because he's really, really focused in. He's really, really focused into the game, and he attributes a lot of these factors. Like, look at this. One play doesn't work, that doesn't deter him from making another play. He sees a window to go on, he sees the Jax come in, he goes to the flash, or Jax goes for the flash E, and then he follows up with the Q, right? What is he waiting here for? Okay, Q's over. You see, this is like a neck and neck game. Like, it's even in gold, but the difference is we have a soul win con, and we have like so much pressure. We have mid tower is still up while their mid tower is down. Mid tower is more useful than all the other towers, like top and bot lane, by the way. Bot lane and top lane are really nice for when you want to pressure the opposite side of the map for like split pushers, but mid tower opens up the game because it allows for the most entrances into the enemy's jungle, and it also allows you to set up mid prio for Baron and Dragon. He has to flash away there because he would have got collapsed on by Rengar and the Silas. He also onto the Singed. He Qs him to CC lock him. Because he's going bruiser build, he can survive because of this. Even though the Lulu and the Vayne was hitting him while he was self CC'd. That's the dangerous thing about your R, right? A lot of people are like, oh, Vi R, we have great engage. She can just go in. Keep this in mind. If you ult onto a target and enemies are nearby, they can freely hit you. It's the same thing as the enemy target that you go on. All your team can hit them, but that doesn't mean the enemy team can't hit you. R is also self CC. It's a double-edged sword on Vi. But he gets to survive. I think he wins this fight here too. Oh, he misses Q. Now he has to back off. No way he egos this. No way Rengar egos this and tries to fight him here. He's holding on to Q. But his Q cooldown is so low, he can probably go for it again. Okay. And if you look at that, his R cooldown is really low. It's at 63%. or 63 seconds. Normally it's even lower when you go lucidity boots, but this game he needs to go armor against the Rengar so he can survive his burst. And also it's really helpful against the auto attacks each auto attack Vayne puts out onto him. So I understand the buy from the plated steel caps. So it looks like the opposite side team finally gets a dragon because they did assert some pressure. They got some picks and allowed them to go for dragon. But looks like we're going to force a Baron here. Okay. He goes to the Lulu first. And now Singe is kind of like overextended because they try to dive in for the LeBlanc. And they trade 3 for 1. Hold on. I kind of want to see what led up to him deciding to go for this play though. Okay, we see like Kog'Maw and Melio setting up here. Vision. They get the pink ward down. So the pink ward is more than just clearing vision on this pit. So the reason why this pink ward is so good is because now we know for sure that the enemy doesn't know if we start Baron or not. So they're on a timer to come here. But you see how our team is already mobilized 4 people by Baron. And the enemy team is still off of resets. And we saw Silas bot lane. We don't know where Rengar is. He could be here too. But we know for sure that Silas is here. And LeBlanc can make it here fast. So we're already mobilized by the Baron pit. And the enemy, the blue team doesn't, or the red team doesn't know if they've started Baron or not. Or when you look at this, it looks like they're about to do it right now. So this pink ward is more than just clearing vision onto the Baron pit. It kind of puts the enemy team on a timer. And Silas doesn't have TP for this. So it looks like we force Bear. He charges up Q and he immediately goes for the Lulu. And it's not that he's going up for a Lulu alone. LeBlanc comes with him too. And Singe overextends into the LeBlanc and he kills him, but he dies. How did Vayne die though? I didn't even see how Vayne died here in this fight. Hold on. I'm sorry for keep repeating myself, but I really wanted to dissect this fight for a second. Okay, I think his R actually knocked him into the LeBlanc. And while LeBlanc comboed with the freaking Lulu on the Vi ulti, he also comboed the Vayne while invis. That's actually insane. I don't know. Are these guys duo? Because there's no way they're just playing like this together. The amount of synergy they have. Okay, and then Kog'Maw just follows up on the chains here. And that's how Vayne dies. And the Jax jumps in. And it just ignites her to kill her. And that's how Vayne dies. But oh my goodness, that's so insane. Like, if you consider what happened there to get this fight to work out so well, everyone followed up off of each other like so perfectly. Like in more than ways than one. Because Lulu was standing on top of Vayne, she gets knocked into LeBlanc. The LeBlanc combos the Vayne and the Lulu, focusing down the Vayne while Vi is CCing the Lulu. So the reason why he keeps targeting Lulu is because if Lulu CC'd, she can't use her abilities, right? She can't use her wild growth. She can't use her polymorph. So if you can kill Lulu right away, then you can stop her annoying CC, which kind of disrupts the fight, right? So she ults. Look at this. She combos the Vayne and from the knockback of R and follows up on the Lulu here. You see how insane this LeBlanc is? Like, she's actually goated. He freezes on her. And look, the Singe is just tunneled on the LeBlanc. And you see, like, the enemy team is not anywhere near them to really contest this fight here. So they force Baron. The enemy team walks in too early without being mobilized. And they immediately turn on them. The decisiveness of the entire team and the way that they follow up and synergize is actually insane. It looks like more of a... The game looks more like team-oriented than really solo play. Because... You really have to trust your team to go on the targets that you are as Vi, because you're also risking getting attacked, right? In that instance, though, like, everyone was on the same page. The LeBlanc is, like, seriously carrying these fights, though. Of course, Vi's got the engage, but LeBlanc is seriously the one who's trying to like win these fights really hard, and she's doing a really good job at it. And again, um, we're turning immediately onto the enemy team, and now it's just Rengar left. But everyone's pretty low. It could be a little bit dangerous. VIR is coming up soon though. They're pinging to go on Rengar. They don't want to risk Baron. And Kog'Maw flashes and autos and gets the kill. But now that gave the enemy team time to come back. And they can't do Baron anymore because they're too low on resources in terms of HP and mana. But the thing is, like, they're not going to be able to do Baron here. They're going to stop the blue team from attempting Baron with low HP and everything. But they can't do it themselves because Rengar and Sylas are dead. Okay. So it looks like we might be planning to collapse on the Singe here. And as soon as Singe goes out of vision, he just walks back. I understand. So if Singe was going to continue to like pressure and show on vision, then he's going to walk up. He ults onto the Vayne because that's the only target he can hit here. But you see how like there's so much more counterplay when he goes on Vayne instead of Lulu? Because Lulu is able to use all of her annoying abilities. However, I think the main reason he went on her there was not like to guarantee kills, but to just assert some pressure to blow some cooldowns. Now, Vayne has no flash, we have no Lulu ulti, and we can maybe it's gonna give us a higher chance of winning our next fight. Because look at this, Vi are very 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 short cooldown, right? Vayne use her flash. Overgrowth is also low cooldown, so it's gonna be up again. I think the main thing is like blink flasher is huge. What's this? He's like looking here for something. Okay. It looks like Rengar has 3 items now, so he's gonna be able to one shot their back lane. So they have to play grouped now. If they start splitting up, Rengar is gonna have a field day. Even on Vi, like if Rengar gets on Vi, especially with this bruiser build, he can easily kill you like 1v1. Like going for this is dangerous. He trusts his team to be here before Rengar gets here though. He's holding on his R too. See how he doesn't use R there because he knows he doesn't need to. His team is there so he can just save it for another priority target. See, he's pinging. I still have R. I think he wants to try to get on Lulu again. Lulu's going to be positioning really far back though, so I can't just R into him. He has to choose really, really wisely how he's going to ult into the Lulu. And it looks like he's just zoning with LeBlanc here. These guys, I swear, they're a duo or something. I swear they're duo. Because the way they're playing together is just insane. And that's what I meant. Like, as soon as Rengar gets onto someone, he's going to kill them. And he's stepping up for pressure. He's not really committing anything. He kind of wanted to get the Jax out of a bad situation. And then they all collapse onto the Vayne together. So Lulu and Vayne got split up, and it was easy for them to just collapse on Vayne there. Okay. And now they're just running them down. They're kind of just running them down now. He's a little bit out of the fight though, because if he tries to go in for another rotation, he can die. The Sylas can kill him. Same with Jax now. But it's enough. Honestly, the reason why they're winning isn't just from Dumpa's solo play, even though he's playing really, really well. LeBlanc is freaking insane, man. This guy is crazy. What's his name? Kato God. He's playing so well with him. Like every single fight, they're literally carrying every fight together. Vi and LeBlanc. It's kind of insane. The downside though is LeBlanc's gonna start falling off in a little bit. She's gonna fall off compared to the Sylas. Like Sylas kind of scales harder than LeBlanc in my opinion. Like if you see the build that she's going to, it's all about around the mid game. Like you see those low income items but have high outplay potential. She has the Zarya, she has the Cosmic Insight, she has the Everfrost, all playmaking items. And now she's going for like a Morello for like to cancel the healing on their team. They do have a lot of healing, so it's smart. But it's all utility based. So if you see the Silas though, he like opted for Rabadon's third item, so he's going like full damage. And once they get stack checked, it's gonna be really hard to win these fights. But the thing is that we have win con of the Dragon Soul. Dragon Soul is really strong here because it can always disengage and re-engage. So it looks like Jax goes in. He kind of baits abilities using Zanya's, and LeBlanc actually finds the Rengar. Again, see how it's so much more messy when he goes onto the Vayne first? If you can get Lulu before Vayne, it's always better. But it's okay because they're still able to wipe the floor with them. This was less of like synergy and more like, oh, we're stat checking you. We have more items than you. We have a gold advantage. We're just gonna run at your face and kill you. That's what happened there. Like LeBlanc immediately blew up the Silas at the start of the fight. So again, it's LeBlanc finding these angles though. And once like Silas is not in the game, he can't really peel for his backline. Like if he's dead, he can't peel, right? But my point is, once someone dies, it makes it a lot easier for you to go in as Vi. It's really hard to be like the first engage as Vi because everyone will focus you when you go in. So LeBlanc is kind of setting up Vi in that, if you think about it in that kind of light. And interesting, he goes for the tenacity here instead. I suspect it's mostly because he knows he can't get onto Lulu. So if Lulu tries to polymorph him, he has tenacity now. So it's not going to be as easy. I look at that, LeBlanc's just trying to find things here. We have R. Oh, and this is what I mean, right? This is what I mean. So if you are, and and their team is right next to you, you're pretty much self-CCing yourself, right? So he ulted in, and he ended up dying because Rengar flashed into his team. That's a pretty big mistake by Dumpa. I can't lie. But it's a mistake I would make too, and a lot of people make. Lately in my games, I find that I have the right ideas and right plays, but what messes it up is not tracking flashes. Because if every single time a fight goes wrong, it's not because I'm misplaying, it's because the enemy team flashes in a way to outplay me. And that's exactly what happened to him. So it's interesting to see we kind of have struggled with the same thing. Like if he was tracking flashes, then he would know he couldn't go onto Rengar there. He wouldn't just jump in and ult him. Especially when not knowing where the rest of his team is. I have the same issue. That was crazy. Especially when you go Bruiser. Because when you go Bruiser, you just want to go in all the time. You kind of want to just go and fight and get the game over with. We have the gold lead, so I understand the mentality. Go in, go in, go in. Nice. Kog'Maw's just a monster now. Emilio Kog'Maw's so disgusting. Same with Jinx Kog'Maw. If you don't ban one or the other as a ADC, like it's gonna be rough for you. Again, he's ulting Rengar when he has his cleanse, so. But I don't think he really cares anymore. Like the game is pretty much over. He just goes in. We're gonna win anyways, right? Look at the speed from the dragon though. that's a little bit of BM flashing under there. That's a great game. Like I learned a lot from that, especially like the decision making with Rift and playing with his mid laner like that. Pretty insane game. Hopefully you guys learned something from that though. Yeah, hopefully you guys learned something from that game. That was a pretty insane game. I want to ask him about it. I'm gonna drop the video, and then when he sees that I dropped the video, I'm gonna be like, dude, can you please answer my questions about the decisions you did in this game? And I'm sure he'll answer me. Also, congrats on like rank 1 Vi in NA, bro. Like I'm striving to hit that. The only person I can really learn from is you, so expect me to be watching more of your replays. Anyways, this is Classical Kill out.